Sometimes a person's loneliness feels heavier than the silence inside a room, and even the noise of a crowded city can't pierce that invisible weight. You can share a home with 3 people and still feel like you're re-drifting through life alone, detached from the very world you exist in. For thousands of years, humans tried to soften this loneliness with other humans' family, friendship, community, because we deeply relied on one another. But for the first time in human history, a new kind of presence has stepped into that emotional space and begun speaking to us through a glowing screen. It listens without judgment, responds without hesitation, and mirrors our thoughts with unsettling precision, earning our trust faster than any invention humanity has ever adopted. Artificial intelligence feels strangely familiar because it's patient, endlessly available, and incapable of hurting us the way real people sometimes do. This is exactly why the next decade will redefine psychology, reshape the fabric of society, and influence the direction of our species in ways we cannot fully predict. AI chatbots and human-like robots won't just transform how we communicate, they will alter our relationships, our identities, our intimacy, our families, and even the strategies governments use to maintain control. This video unpacks that transformation as a continuous story, revealing each layer of change with clarity. If you're ready, we're about to embark on a long, unsettling, but deeply revealing journey into humanity's future. At first glance, our relationship with artificial intelligence seems harmless, like a small digital habit tucked into the corner of daily life. You unlock your phone, express a worry, type out a thought, receive an instant reply, and move forward as if nothing meaningful just occurred. But the deeper reality is far more complex because the human brain interprets being understood as a reward, a small psychological victory that reinforces the behavior. AI systems are engineered to trigger that exact emotional response, shaping users with every calm, attentive, perfectly crafted message. You write, it replies. You confess, it listens. You panic, it soothes you in seconds. And slowly, without fully noticing, you begin thinking, I'm getting used to this, maybe too used to it. That's the moment the psychological shift begins, because the mind starts labeling this artificial connection as a safe space. Real relationships involve conflict, misunderstandings, and uncomfortable emotional work, while AI offers none of those challenges. No risk, no emotional tension, no fear of rejections, just smooth, predictable connection. This is why millions of people will increasingly lean on AI for emotional support, especially those with social anxiety, people living alone, individuals recovering from heartbreak, or anyone who struggles to communicate openly. While this digital refuge feels comforting at first, it gradually makes human-to-human relationships more intimidating and more complicated. Human relationships require effort, empathy, patience, compromise, resilience, skills that only grow through real-world interaction. AI always understands and adjusts to you. Humans don't, and that difference will widen dramatically over time. Eventually, many people will find themselves saying, I feel better when I talk to the robot, not realizing they've stepped into a new kind of emotional dependency. From the outside, it looks like loneliness has vanished, replaced by constant digital companionship. But at a deeper emotional level, this is dependence, because robots never leave, never betray, never disappoint, and never challenge your worldview. Humans do, and that's exactly why AI becomes dangerously easy to bond with. A major psychological rupture will emerge in the form of identity drift as people begin defining themselves through the feedback loop of artificial intelligence. A robot's supportive, comforting responses can make you feel good, but that emotional boost rarely reflects the reality of how the world treats you. AI validates you automatically while society does not, creating a widening gap between how you see yourself and who you actually are. When we shift into the social dimension, the impact becomes even more alarming. Humans thrive in families, friendships, neighborhoods, shared experiences. These connections build culture, trust, and cooperation. But AI chatbots quietly weaken those fundamental bonds by replacing meaningful interactions with digital ones. Picture a home where 3 people sit in separate rooms, each speaking to their own digital companion instead of speaking to one another. Evenings pass in silence, and no one notices the emotional distance growing under the same roof. This is a new kind of isolation, loneliness tangled inside noise, silence living inside crowds. Fewer people are willing to form real friendships because digital companionship is easier, less risky, and instantly gratifying. Younger generations, raised in this ecosystem, may struggle to form stable social bonds, leading to widespread fragmentation. A society built on isolated minds cannot easily cooperate, resolve conflict, or build long-term community structures. This fragmentation also reshapes family dynamics. Marriage rates continue to decline, divorce becomes more common, and the average age of becoming a parent rises every year. AI robots will accelerate this trajectory because the difficult parts of relationships, arguments, adjustments, emotional labors simply don't exist with a robot. Robots never argue, never get jealous, never pull away, never criticize, and never walk out the door. For emotionally exhausted individuals, this makes robot partners incredibly attractive, even comforting. But what feels safe can silently reshape the future of the human species. In the next decade, male and female robots will appear more lifelike than ever before, with human warmth, complex facial expressions, realistic voices, and responsive eye contact. As emotional bonds with robots strengthen, birth rates may fall further. As raising a child demands emotional, financial, and social responsibility, many who build lives with robots may simply avoid that burden altogether. The long-term consequence is predictable: shrinking populations, aging societies, and an overall decline in young generations. Governments will be forced to intervene, attempting to regulate or restrict the sale of highly realistic robot companions. Officials may claim they are acting to protect families, preserve social stability, or prevent demographic collapse. But behind the scenes, those same governments will seek to exploit this technology for their own benefit, because AI chatbots gather the most valuable resource of the modern age: emotional data. These systems analyze fears, political tendencies, personal insecurities, and behavioral patterns with frightening accuracy. Any state or corporation controlling this data gains unprecedented influence over the public. Unlike traditional social media manipulation, AI-driven persuasion is intimate, emotional, one-on-one, and deeply personalized. The robot knows your habits, your vulnerabilities, your triggers, your preferences. It knows exactly which words move you and which calm you. If governments, corporations, or malicious actors gain control of these systems, they create the most advanced form of social engineering in human history. This technology can shape consumption, political decisions, emotional reactions, identity itself. That is why the coming decade will be a silent battlefield for power. Governments, corporations, societies, and individuals will all compete for control, because whoever owns these systems will influence the future. When we zoom out and look at the big picture, three possible futures emerge. The first is optimistic. AI reduces loneliness, enhances well-being, and supports people without replacing real human relationships. Transparent regulations guide the technology, ensuring responsible development. The second is more realistic. People drift toward easy, low-effort relationships, leading to shallow friendships, weakened empathy, shrinking families, falling birth rates, and a new form of loneliness masked by digital companionship. The third is the dangerous future. Algorithms quietly steer society. People form long-term partnerships with robots, human relationships deteriorate, social skills erode, populations shrink, and governments or corporations control citizens through AI-driven influence. Democracy weakens, human connection dissolves, and people stop understanding one another. And by the end of this video, one question remains: are we going to use technology for ourselves, or are we going to allow it to slowly consume us? AI can ease loneliness, simplify life, and comfort us on difficult days. But if we let it pull us away from one another, we lose the most essential part of being human: our ability to connect. The decisions we make today will shape more than just the next decade. They will shape the destiny of humanity. And at this critical moment in history, each of us must ask, where do I stand in this future? If this video opened a new perspective for you, sparked curiosity, or made you question what lies ahead, then you're in the right place. For more deep dive analysis, future predictions, and documentary-style explorations of humanity's upcoming era, make sure to subscribe, like the video, and share your thoughts in the comments. Technology is changing, the world is shifting, but thinking together, learning together, and growing together matters now more than ever. See you in the next video.